Hello, class. How are you? This is Professor John D. Lynn, teaching business communication for all of you. It is 8 p.m. today on the 3rd of November, 2024, exactly at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where I am now starting the live lecture. Again, this is not a requirement for you to be here, it's optional, and the recordings will be provided for you. That being said, it's always great to meet the professor live and your classmates so that we can get to know each other better and understand a little bit of where we're both coming from in terms of our perspectives. Well, I will just get started right away. As you can see right now, all you do is see my name, and a name is a really important part of who we are. Name recognition, brand recognition is really key when it comes to business communication. And names change over time, for instance. So, case in point, if you think of a star athlete, let's say, let's and let's just say Michael Jordan for basketball. At the time, we knew him as the greatest basketball player in the world. And now you might think that he used to be the greatest basketball player in the world, for example. And of course, some people fall in and out of favor based upon their performance, their controversies that they might end up with, so on and so forth. And with that, with business communication, we have names of businesses that always tend to change along the way. For instance, before the release of the iPhone, Apple was almost done. And then the iPhone and the iPad came along, and now it's revived tremendously. Back in the day, Japanese electronics such as Sony and Panasonic ruled the world. But now they have fallen out of favor, and it is now Samsung, for instance. This is just an example of how names go in and out of fashion, just like for businesses. And I wanted you to keep that in mind as you think about how you want your name to be associated with as you continue this course. Let's have your name be associated with great work, great participation, and outstanding character. I am going to turn on the camera now. And hello, everyone. This is me presenting myself in a rather semi professional, casual way at the moment. And I wanted to let you know a couple points. So, I can lecture a really long time, and I do have some previous recordings for you, but especially because no one's here at the moment, and I just want to make sure that I keep these shorter for you, I will start to mention a couple pointers right away. Firstly, communicating online is how we're doing business communication. And I wanted to really focus and emphasize that. There are certain elements of communication online that are going to play a significant factor to the way you're being evaluated. And I like to go ahead and give you some examples over here. So, one of the key words that I want you to focus on is lighting. I believe right now you can clearly see my face and I can seem like a trustworthy person. But if I were to drop the lighting, which this should work, Mm, yep. My trustworthiness goes down. So imagine I'm going for a job interview now, and this is the lighting. I'm still talking the same. I still have the same credentials, but it just doesn't work. So please make sure that you have appropriate lighting when you give your presentation, and we'll boost it back up over here. And now it's much better. Next, I want to make sure that we deal with camera angles. At the moment right now, you see that I'm sitting. I am slightly slouching, perhaps, that perhaps should look a lot better. We talked about nonverbal communication. And at the moment, you at least see my torso. When you do your presentations, make sure we at least see your torso in the frame because then we can see our hand gestures. And hand gestures is a really important part of nonverbal communication. If you watch baseball, they're always signing to each other. And of course, there's ASL sign language. And so hands are a big part of it. We want to avoid the floating head, where all you see is the head in the presentation. That would be problematic. Right now, this is really not nonverbal communication with body language, so we definitely want to avoid that. Again, let's make sure that we get at least to the torso over here. Okay, nextly, you can see I'm pretty much in the middle of the frame. Let's make sure that we're in the middle of frame that when we're doing our videos for nonverbal communication. And there are a couple other pointers that I wanted to keep in mind. For your elevator pitches and all your speeches, please make sure that you are standing up. Standing up is the only way that you can get a full credit grade for us, and a couple reasons why. President Roosevelt was in a wheelchair and he refused to be seen in a wheelchair sitting down. When you stand, you project a whole lot more confidence. If we were taking this class in person, you would be standing when you do your presentations. So make sure that you do that. Right now, when you're sitting, I'm pretty sure that some of you may be swaying. That is a trait that we want to eliminate when you're speaking standing up. A lot of you right now are not very conscious of your feet and your legs, and that's going to be playing a big role over here. So let's make sure that we stand, ladies and gentlemen. And as you stand with me, as I do it now, I want you to feel the difference in your body. It's going to suddenly feel a lot more self conscious, and that's one of the skills that you're going to have to develop in this course. Okay, so let's stand up. All right. Congratulations. Now we are officially standing. The issue that we have now, clearly, is that you cannot see my head. But right now, I'm starting to become very self conscious about my feet. Am I wobbly? How do I stand? How far do I position my feet? Shoulder to shoulder, side by side? What's happening with my elbows? This is one of the aspects that we want to do. Right now, my neck is craned downwards, and I can tell you for sure that if I did speak for 10 minutes, it would not be a comfortable position. So we have to make sure that we start to see you. Now, you don't have to shoot the angle where we see your entire body, although it is a difference maker for how you stand, but for purposes of the elevator pitch, it's not necessary. If you are going to wear a tie, which I'll show you in a moment, then this would make a difference. And let me just go and put on a tie right now. Give me 1 second. This leads to the next point, ladies and gentlemen. When you are speaking, please make sure you check your audio devices before you do any submissions. You can probably see a decline in the audio quality now. A lot of times people have a lot of static when they speak, and that will hinder your ability to also earn a full grade in the course. So, congratulations, class. I now have a tie on, and let's fix it just a little bit over here. All right. Well, this is reversed image over here, and it bothers me that I can't get it just right. Okay, there you go. So congratulations now. We have a tie. And as you can see, I'm still looking down over here, and it's gonna hurt my hurt my physical neck. The important aspect that I want you to make sure you do to get full credit is to make sure you're not looking down on us. When you look down at us, it can be seen as condescending. People don't like it. They feel uncomfortable. Remember, there's this business communication. You're giving an elevator pitch. You're selling your ideas. You need them. You need their money. You need their support. The last thing they should feel is that you're talking down to them. So a couple of points in terms of how you can do that. Really simple. What usually happens is when you're on a laptop, just stack a whole lot of books on top of your laptop and just make sure it's a 90-degree part. How you get to eye level is that you walk straight and the camera should just hit you in the eye. So for my purposes, I actually do have a standing desk with elevation, so I can simply elevate it, but you don't need to spend all that money to do that. So let's see now, am I at eye level? As I walk, I am not quite at eye level because that's not at 90 degrees, but you can see already it's a lot better. I'm not talking down to all of you. I can move back the setting and I can move this back up. And I believe now, congratulations, I am at eye level. This is a professional presentation now. Now you are ready to present your elevator pitches. So before you even speak, make sure you carry on the fundamentals and you take care of your lighting. You're in the center of your frame, that your audio is okay. Obviously, this audio is a little bit better, but I want you to be hands-free. That's okay. So find a way to prop it over here. But I wanted you to hear the differences of it. When you hear some static, perhaps this is creating static, it's not a good feeling. Okay, next, the attire. For your elevator pitches, I want to make sure, and for your speeches in general, please dress at least semi-professionally. For your presentations, normally when you do a speech, you want to be at least one step above what the audience wears. And what that means is if it's summertime and it's a beach party and everyone's wearing tank tops, at least wear a t-shirt. If everyone's wearing t-shirts, you wear a polo shirt. If everyone's wearing a polo shirt, wear a dress shirt. If everyone's wearing a dress shirt, wear a tie. And if everyone's wearing a tie, give me 1 second. Audio's not as good. If everyone's wearing a tie, what do? Throw on a suit. Now, FYI, I'd like you to try this. Go to any car dealership with a t-shirt on, see how seriously they take you, and then go in with a dress shirt, then go in with a tie, then go in with a suit. I guarantee you, once you go in with a suit, people will take you a whole lot more seriously. At the very least, make sure that you're taking it more professionally when you do your elevator pitch class. This is a college class and we're preparing you for the future. Now, when you wear a tie, people believe that you make 25 to 30% more of your actual salary. And by simply putting on a suit, people believe that you make at least 50% more money. So let's put it this way. If you have a job that pays you $16 an hour, people now believe that you make 24. Going further, if you make 100,000, people think you make 150. And if you make $500,000, congratulations, you make $1,000,000, right? Don't I look like $1,000,000 right now? Of course I do. Good. Now, the only last point that we have to talk about right now is just backgrounds. We're talking about nonverbal communication. Nonverbally, I'm not going to speak for a moment. What do I convey with the outfit? Okay, so a couple of things about the background. Please make sure that you avoid anything in the background that could be distracting and unnecessary. You see this chair over here? Yes, no need for that because it's in the background. You can't see that really, so that doesn't matter. You can see that in the background. So let's just eliminate these things. Oh, it's a wide angle. All right, that's out of the frame. That's really good. And I don't think I need to make it as wide of an angle because I don't want to move the chair. And congratulations, I think that's fine. Okay, good. So non-verbally, I'm showing you a green screen right now because I am really into technology and making the best shooting screens possible. As you can see, we have the zoom in camera, we have the features of the lighting, we also have the background. And non-verbally, I'd like you to convey the message that you would try to convey. As a professor, if I want to convey professionalism, what I would do is I'd move the camera over and I would show you this part of the room. So I'm about to do that right now. All right. So as you can see here, here are some of my awards. I'm really proud that I've taught for 30 semesters already. 30 semesters I've been teaching, and I've had some various awards with that. In regards to public speaking, I take public speaking really, really, really seriously because I truly believe that all of my success and beauty in my life has come through my ability to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. And I also believe that whatever success that I haven't had is simply because I haven't been able to communicate as well as I still could. So there you have it for you, everyone. This is the professional side of what I have. There you have some books that I published, and those are some geode rocks because I did mention I love to travel. They are from Brazil. That little rock over there is also from Iceland. And now, when I want to show you not just my professional side and I want to show you my personal side, then I go to this side of the room. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I am a huge, 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 huge Eli Manning fan, and I wrote a book for Eli Manning. Essentially, the important part is you need great role models. Eli Manning is a fantastic role model for everyone. And really, during the time of my life when it was really, really difficult, I had Eli Manning as an inspiration for me. Back in 2004, 2005, when everyone doubted him, that was when I actually dropped out of college. Life was really difficult for me. But as I saw that he succeeded in 2007, he actually won his first championship. And that's when I finally graduated from high school. And then I went to my master's program. And then in 2011, when he won his second championship, that's when actually I won my National Teaching Award. And of course, you can see that I felt like I grew along with Mr. Manning, and that is why I have all his memorabilia. And that's a little bit about me. Of course, in the middle, you see the samurai sword and you see the Spartan shield, because I do believe that we're always in a battle between good and evil. We're always in a battle amongst ourselves, and we want to be able to win that victory for all of you. There you go. Oh, the guitar, because I love to play guitar. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So I really want you to think about nonverbal communication regarding all of these aspects, and that's the most important part about nonverbal communication that we can discuss for today. Now, as we go into the elevator pitches as well, this will be really important, and we talked about all these aspects as well. Unless the background is something that's strategic for what you're talking about, make sure that the background is non-distracting. Likewise, make sure that your attire is either non-distracting, professional, or it's strategic. So if, for example, you happen to be a Los Angeles Dodgers fan and you want to wear a Dodgers shirt for your presentation, that could work. Or if you are a Yankees fan, you could wear a Yankees shirt. You understand the point over here. And you could wear a Dodgers cap with a Yankee shirt if you want to show that you're conflicted about it, or if you just want to promote the World Series. Other than that, it would be confusing, for example, if you're talking about the Chicago Bulls and you're wearing those baseball items, unless you say something that makes sense, such as I used to be a baseball fan with these attire, but now I'm transitioning away because I like basketball now, for example. Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I've been talking for about 20 minutes now, and we covered a good amount of nonverbal communication in addition to the elevator pitch and how you can weave in that nonverbal communication aspect of it. Now I'm going to start showing you some videos that I pulled up on YouTube, and that's going to be part of the lecture. We'll play it, and then I'll give you some description about it, or actually I'll give you some description about it first, and then I'll play it, and you can have some better understanding of that. Okay. So let's start first with the nonverbal communication, because I believe that is a part that really does make a difference. So the importance of speaking up, nonverbal communication. This is a movie from 2017. It's called Wonder. And Wonder covers the story of a boy who's physically deformed, or if not that harsh of a word, he's deformed enough that people make fun of him. And you can notice in the end of the scene how it's really important that he's able to speak up for himself and not just be nonverbal. One kid's being mean, one kid's being nice. Again, your presentation, people judge you, but it's the way that you speak that can alter that judgment that people have of you. Okay, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play the first clip here. And the first clip is right over here. Let's get started. And here we go. This importance of not just being nonverbal, but the importance of being verbal. And obviously you can see that the bully was not ready for that retort. In this course, we want to teach you how to speak nonverbally and verbally successfully. So make sure you continue to pay attention. All right. The next clip that we have talking about nonverbal communication is, if you're a fan of The Office, you know that Jim and Pam were coworkers and then they became lovers and they married each other. And you can see in this scene that all you need is a nonverbal communication to know what is happening. It's a 3-minute clip. We're gonna go to the part right here. Okay. In that scene that it was all nonverbal, and it seems like, what, good news, bad news? It was good news. What was it? Were they having a terminal illness that ended up being benign? What happened was they realized that they're pregnant and their child is healthy. So you can see that the expressions nonverbally do make a difference. And one key aspect that I do ask you to do is, when you do your presentations in this course, especially for the elevator pitch, I want you to do the elevator pitch. And then when you watch it over first, play it in mute. Does your body language communicate what you want? You mentioned a lot about eye contact. You mentioned a lot about slouching. You mentioned a lot about hand gestures. That is a precursor for how you can do it successfully for the elevator pitches and the rest of your speeches moving forward. So keep that in mind. Now, this is the clip about how across different cultures, people communicate differently. And I want you to watch this on your own time to see how it's not always just what is closed or open body language. It's not just about being distant or intimate. Every culture has a different way to communicate. Some cultures are meant to speak closer to each other, others are meant to be further away from each other, others are more touch prone, others are more adverse to being touched, and others are more likely to have direct eye contact, others are to have less eye contact. So really important that you keep that in mind. So when you talk about verbal and nonverbal communication, it's not just a one size fits all blanket. This is a little clip of people walking into things because non-verbally they're just too focused on their phones. And an important aspect about this is if you deal with older people, people usually assume that when you're on the phone, it's to do something not positive. It's more distracting. And that may or may not be the case, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. Maybe you have a laptop at school and you're doing work, but people may also assume that you're on YouTube, but you might be doing work. If you're on your phone, however, professors tend to believe less likely that you're doing work and you're most likely being distracted. So the way to definitely prove that you're not being distracted is just have a typical traditional notebook and pen. Then you go to a laptop, then you go to your phone. So it's all about perception, ladies and gentlemen. And let's just see what happens with people walking into things.
Amazing, yeah, I'll talk more about my situation. So we talked about coding stickers.
You can see some other ones that are actually worse, ladies and gentlemen, but this is just an example. Now, to the elevator pitch. One important aspect that I want you to focus on is knowing that you do not memorize your speech. We want to make sure that non-verbally, you're not just darting your eyes back and forth. Oh, we haven't mentioned this, but this is more common sense ideally. When you do your elevator pitches and when you do your videos, please make sure that your camera is actually stationary and that you're not holding on to it. I've had too many students in the past where they have their little brother hold it for them and it's moving. How many more seconds can you deal with this until you get dizzy? You tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should be dizzy already. 8, 9. Okay, good. So please make sure that you avoid doing that. Now, in 2008, CNN had a segment where they had elevator pitches for everyone who might have lost a job due to the economic downturn. And what they did was they got their resumes, cover letters, and a brief interview to covet 3 people every episode on CNN to make sure that they got a chance to do a 30-second elevator pitch, which is essentially an opportunity for them to showcase to the world why they should be hired by talking about their backgrounds, what their skills are, what they're interested in looking for. One person's going to do well and be complimented by the moderator. Another person is going to do fine. Another person is going to bomb the entire part. So let's see what you think is going to happen. We're going to get to it right away. Here's your 30 seconds. Now, all 3 gentlemen, as you can see, are dressed professionally. They're all at eye level. In this case, they may be standing, they might be sitting, probably sitting, but you're not 100% sure. Make sure that we 100% know that you're standing. you should probably be able to tell that I'm not sitting. Just do one of these back turns and you'll know that you are standing up here. And let's see what happens with the 30-second elevator pitches first.
Turner, let's start with you. Look straight into that camera. You got 30 seconds. Give us your pitch.
Well, I am extremely passionate about technology and learning, and I am very interested in using my years of experience in technology support and teaching, combined with my Northwestern education, to help manage an organization's technology project team or an organization that has a learning and talent development department. I'd love to help them power up their employee engagement through the use of technologies such as social media and the Apple iPhone.
Look at that. Right on the money. And you're very good with time. All right, Richard Pachowski, take it away.
Hi, you're looking for someone who has more than just a focus on technology. You're looking for someone who has...
That's okay. Go for it. Tell us. Just speak to me. Like we're sitting at the dinner table. Go ahead, Richard. What do you have? What can you offer?
that...
That's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you essentially choke, and you don't want that to happen to you. And because people are afraid of choking, that's why people decide to write up and memorize their speeches. But the problem is when you type up and memorize your speeches and you say it mostly, you're rehearsing, you're regurgitating, and you're trying to relive a point in the past. That's not going to work, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine I've been talking for 30 minutes right now and I typed up everything on the screen? You'd be so bored, and I would be so bored. And I would waste so much time because I would have to memorize all that. You can get away with it perhaps with an elevator pitch, but as you continue into business meetings and you have to speak every single day, that's just absolutely not going to work for you. So in this course, we ask that you do your best to speak extemporaneously. You write your bullet points, you write your short bits that you need to, but you make sure that you talk with your talking points. So ladies and gentlemen, how do I know that I know that he... Now, notice what I just did. How do I know that I know? I didn't mean to say that, but I did, and we're just going to move on with it. How do I know that Mr. Chofsky memorized his speech? Because he's going to start the exact same way again. Hi, you're looking for someone. And I also know that he memorized his speech because what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to set a timer with your phone. He's going to go way over 30 seconds. That's usually a sign that people are memorized because they don't care about time. All they care about is saying exactly what they prepared for. And that's also something that you don't want to do. So when you do your elevator pitches and everything else, make sure you stick to the time limits, everyone. When it's a 5 to 6 minute speech, that means 5 to 6, not 4.5 and not 7. A lot of the grades end up just falling short because you're not abiding to the time limits or the word limits. Just make sure you read all the directions really carefully. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. And use your timer to see how many seconds he speaks for. Now, I'd like you to email me the answer to exactly how many seconds he speaks for as one of the quiz questions. You are responsible to watch the lectures, even though you're not responsible to be here. And that's one of the first questions that I ask for you to email me and just tell me how many seconds did he speak for. That's quiz question number 1. Okay, here we go.
Regroup for a second. No problem.
Okay.
Go ahead. Take it again.
Okay, you're looking for someone who is more than just technology savvy. Someone who has customer focus and international experience. A person who is a problem solver, analytical, yet still has common sense. I'm that person. I have great customer focus skills and great soft skills. I have the ability to take end-to-end ownership of a project and the determination to do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Fantastic, Richard.
Thank
All right,
you,
Lyle.
and
it's okay. You don't have to.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we don't need to play the last one, but the last one actually, I want you to know that he is 5 seconds short on time, and he may not have spoken with the most emotion here. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the answer? How many seconds did Mr. Chofsky speak for? That is question number one. And how do I know that he was memorized? Because he always started with hi, you're looking for someone who, and then he also messed up his words with people and problem. That's usually what happens when you try to memorize. You get caught up on the same syllables and same sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the elevator pitch, and you also see the body language and the nonverbal aspects. So congratulations, we are clicking out of not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but seven tabs over here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just really important. I'm going to stop the screen share now in a moment. Where is my screen share button? There we go. All right. So, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. The most important part is that we have spent over 30 minutes over here and we talked about verbal, nonverbal communication, and we're preparing you for the elevator pitch. You know, all these different aspects. Of course, make sure you check your punctuation and grammar, and please, 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 please make paragraphs. The second number that I want you to remember is 6 lines. Okay. So, how many seconds did Richard Jofsky speak for? And the answer is for the second question is 6 lines. 6 lines, what is it referring to? About every 6 lines in your writing, please make sure you make a space because it's really hard to read more than 6 lines when you're on the Canvas interface, okay? So congratulations, everyone. I believe this should be it for the first lecture. I do have other videos that I've made already that there's no need to play in live time right now while I'm here, but I will also send that to all of you as well. Make sure that you do watch them. You can watch them in double time with a different media player, but all the content is there. And we're having more content in the beginning because I really want to make sure that I set up the standards and the rules and the regulations and the expectations and the hopes for you to be able to succeed with everything. Okay. Oh, we have one special guest and it's nice. Hello. Are you Hyung Yu? Should I call you Echo or hello? Are you there?
Hi, Professor. I can hear you. I'm here.
Hi, hello. Good to see you. Well, good to meet you. And you got some of the hello. You got some of the stuff down from what we mentioned. I know you came in a little later, but you caught some of it.
Uh, because I remember wrong time. I think it starts at 8:30.
Oh, that's okay. All right, but you caught some of what I said at least, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you have any questions at all or anything?
I wonder, you mentioned in the announcement that if I wanna boost my grade, I can attend our online meeting as much as possible. I wonder how it will be calculated in our final grade.
Or come into meetings?
Yes.
Oh, the meetings are optional. You don't have to come to the meetings, and I can't give you more credit for coming or not coming because everyone's schedule is different, right? And it's almost impossible to set a time where everyone can come. I try to make it this time Sunday night, 8 o'clock after everyone finishes dinner or they're home. But sometimes Sunday night they have other things to do. I do it in a weekday and other people have work. It never really works out exactly. And the attendance usually is sometimes 0 people, sometimes 1 people, and sometimes 1 people, 1 person, or sometimes we have 8 people. But it's rare that you always have everyone. That almost never happens because of scheduling. But this will be posted for everyone to see, and it's your responsibility to make sure you watch it and everything. Did I answer your question?
No, thank you.
No, I did not. I did answer your question or did not?
Yes, you answered my
Okay, great.
question.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much, Echo, and I will see you next week. I'll let all of you know in advance when it'll be. Maybe we'll just try to set it at Sundays at 8 just to be consistent, but we'll see what happens because sometimes I want to do the lectures a little earlier depending on what I see from the work being submitted. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.